I was getting real bored of my setup that I built in 2019. It seems like everyone and their dog had these 3D wall panels that I originally thought they were cool in 2019. Now everyone has them, so I needed a refresher. This version was 2.0 as I built my first setup in 2012. Want to see my first setup? Check it out. Glass desk with 4 monitors. Now I was actually surprised the glass supported all those monitors in the monitor mount. So don't get me started on cleaning a glass desk. Do not recommend. That was my setup back then, and I showed you how I built my setup 2.0. So 4 years later, we must move on. But what will version 3.0 look like? I didn't really know at the time. I knew I wanted little to no RGB. I wanted a new accent wall, a new PC, 3 monitors on my personal PC so I can game or stream. You don't have other monitors to display other things. Like when I'm streaming, I need to have a chat. Sometimes a game on Sundays, I need to have a football game and some other things kind of while I'm gaming here. Problem is where am I gonna put my speakers? Now I don't have room on either side, and I was hesitant to mount them above the monitors on the wall. Planning took the longest time, trying to think everything through so I could quickly get this thing done in the little amount of time that I had. In the meantime, I propped up my work laptop and monitor in the dining room. Check it out. The accent wall I decided on was similar to the one that I did in the setup I did for Corsair, where I had a black smooth background and then 1x2s for the accent. Except in this setup, I kind of wanted to change it, do a black and walnut look, but also keeping some of that white, on my desk. Speakers. I kind of wanted a white PC because that would be a nice little contrast up against that black wall. First thing was to tear down everything and start removing those 3D wall panels, which I was not looking forward to because as I glued them up with liquid nails, and I knew as soon as I would tear them down, they were probably gonna kind of rip my drywall up, and as expected, they did, but good thing I can patch some of the damage. All right, got my 3D wall panels removed. They kind of beat up the wall a little bit, so what I'm gonna do is probably smooth this all out with some texture, and then I'm going to paint it black. But before that, I wanted to mount my 3 monitors, which I did, get those all placed where I want them to go, and also the speakers. Got those all mounted, and so they're all ready to go. I'm gonna drill a couple holes down here. I'm gonna run the speaker wire behind the cable through the wall, drop it down behind the desk right there, and then same, got a little hole right here. And then I'm going to drop it down right here, and that's the speaker wire. Monitors, I can run the cables behind the monitor. Should drop it right behind the computer, so that should be fine. Or I can always just run it through here. That I already have the monitor wires already running here. Be able to hide those through the wall, so you won't see any wires. But yeah, it's coming together real nice. I'm glad to have my multi-monitor setup back. Can't wait to get started on this accent wall. It's gonna be awesome. One thing that I do recommend is that you get all monitor mounts the same brand. Now I couldn't get the same one I was using for my one ultra wide, so I had to go with a different brand. Now different brands come with different dimensions on how high it mounts, so I had to do a lot of math to make sure that the top of the monitors were all in line, and especially with my work one too, had it all in line. All right, we got the walls all smooth out here, and then I also painted it black as the background, and got the stands and the monitor arms and speaker wall mounts all mounted, so I know where to go with my design and all that stuff and how to go around it. So I'm going to go right now. Let's cut some pieces to get a border around both of these walls, and then we'll start with the design using 1x2 pieces of wood, and then we'll paint them black the same color. Let's go. Now time for the design. Put a border around each wall so that the design in the middle would butt up against, flush with the border. I started with one major 45-degree angle down the middle of my setup. Doing a 45-degree angle would then mean that I could just cut the pieces butting up to it in a 45-degree angle too. In each section of the design, I wanted one piece of walnut wood, so I would plan on where that was and skip that piece for later. The gap in between each piece is just the thickness of a 1x2. Working around the grommets and the mounts, I would just cut the whole piece and then measure where I needed to cut. I got the design done right now using 1x2s, and I put a little design, all these little slots, and these ones in the middle here, these big gaps, they're going to be a walnut. So I'm going to basically paint this all black, the same color as the background here, and then we're going to put, we're going to stain some walnut pieces right in here, so it'll be black with walnut. Let's go do that. All right, I got everything fully painted black now, which was a raging pain in the butt. I don't know why I do this to myself, but trying to get every little piece, every little crack from the bottom and the top and all that stuff, and it took 2 coats. I'm exhausted. All right, now let's go ahead and throw on all of the mounts and all that stuff, put on the walnut pieces, and finally reap our rewards. Let's see this beast. All right, I used pine wood on the wall, and then these ones though, I'm actually using poplar 1x2 because I heard that the poplar has the kind of the grain and takes the stain really well. So real walnut is extremely expensive, so I didn't feel like dropping 4 times, 5 times the amount of money. So I got some cheaper poplar wood, and then I got some stain, this special walnut, and then go ahead and I'm gonna put, I did 1 coat right now of this stain on here. Maybe I'll do a second, I don't know, but that's drying right now. Once that's done, the other wall is painted black. We're gonna go ahead and put that on there. The last piece of the setup was my new PC, and so I did 2 vids. One vid was no voiceover, just kind of an ASMR PC build noise. And another one was more in depth talking about what I did. I'll have links to those videos down in the description, or you can watch them here. Or wait till the end, I'll have them on the end screen, I'll have both those videos. But just wait, stay tuned for the vids of the final setup, which happens. Get your drill buckets ready now.